Hi dear Geminis, welcome to my YouTube channel, and in this video I'm going to talk about the transits for the month of April. This year, April is quite busy. We have a lot of events happening. First of all, we've got Mercury retrograde in Aries, solar eclipse in Aries, Jupiter Uranus conjunction in Taurus, and full moon in Scorpio. So that's a lot for 1 month. And dear Geminis, you guys usually thrive when there's like lots of activities going on. So I think you'll enjoy it actually. And so, first of all, on April 1st, we have Mercury stationing retrograde on the 27th degree of April. And this is important for you, dear Geminis, because you are ruled by Mercury. So you do feel the effect of all Mercury retrogrades. And this time, Mercury retrograde is happening in your 11th house. So 11th house is the house of friendships, networks, internet stuff. And so you will feel the effect in this area of your life. And so the major themes of Mercury retrograde are miscommunication. First of all, that's the major key word for Mercury retrograde, miscommunication, because Mercury rules communication. And so there might be misunderstandings and stuff. So dear Geminis, make sure you check your email twice before you send it. Make sure you express yourself clearly. I mean, Geminis, you don't have problems like that generally, but make sure you attach the attachment, or you are emailing to the right person. Maybe you accidentally email to the entire company, or like maybe you forget to untag someone who is not supposed to see that email and stuff like that. And so miscommunications and like glitches around communication, texting, email, stuff like that. And also, as I mentioned, glitches in technology. So there might be something bad, like I mean, not bad, like a breakdown. Like let's say your fridge breaks, and now you have to fix your fridge. And so knowing these things makes it easier to deal with the Mercury retrograde energy. And also, another thing is, dear Geminis, if you are planning to travel around this time, I would say that the chances of delays or flight cancellations increase around the time of Mercury retrograde. So if you are planning to travel, make sure you know the airline policies when it comes to like flight cancellation, flight delays, because sometimes you can get reimbursed for that, and most of the time public doesn't know these details because they're hidden in the airline policies. Like yeah, so there are tons of TikToks that explain these things, so check that. And also another thing I need to mention about traveling is get one of those Apple tags that you put inside your suitcase, so that in case of luggage getting lost, you can find it much easier. Because these things are Mercury retrograde themes. And so, what else? Because this Mercury retrograde is happening in the sign of Aries, the communication might be aggressive. Like that's the nature of Aries. Like very confrontational speeches, like aggressive speeches. Yeah, like others might be doing. I'm not saying you will be doing, or if you tend to like raise your voice, like control yourself, like be patient around this Mercury retrograde. Another thing I need to mention about Mercury retrograde is the chances of getting lost is very high during Mercury retrogrades. Like even when you're using Google Maps, like for some reason, like it tends to happen. Like in my case, like during Mercury retrogrades, that happened to me. Like at the time I moved to a new city, so I was getting lost a lot even while using the Google Maps. And also there's like a huge chance of like forgetting things. Like make sure you create a checklist for yourself in April, so that you check it before leaving the house each morning or any place. And also, especially before traveling, make sure you get your passport and other necessities. Make sure you pack those before leaving the house. Like for example, last year during Mercury retrograde, I forgot my house keys at work. Like who does that? Like so that never happens to me, but for some reason during Mercury retrograde, I forgot my keys at work. And so this is it for Mercury retrograde. And dear Geminis, as I said, this is happening in your friendship house. And also the thing about retrograde is that it might bring an old friend back to your life. Maybe they'll communicate you out of nowhere, like going back to something. Like maybe there was some channel that you neglected for many years, but now during this Mercury retrograde you kind of like go back to channel and start posting content in there. Yeah, so this is the kind of energy of Mercury retrograde. And so after this, after Mercury retrograde, on April 4th or 5th, depending on where you live, Venus will enter Aries until April 29th. And so generally, dear Geminis, April is very much about friendships, because a lot of planets will be transiting your 11th house around this time. And so when Venus enters your 11th house, like Venus will bring charming, pleasant energy into your friendship area. So like going out with your friends to a nice place to eat would be a great idea around this time. And if you remember last year and the year before that, you were having eclipses in your 12th house, the very isolated house. So now with the eclipses happening in your 11th house and these planets transiting your 11th house, I feel like around this time you are in the mood to make friends, like yeah, getting like meeting new people, getting new ideas, sharing new ideas with them. It's this kind of energy. And generally, when Venus is transiting Aries, we all become bolder, more confident, more assertive, okay, and charming during this transit. I mean, because you know, like Venus rules romance, and Aries is assertiveness. So it's during this time we'll all be acting like Aries in romance. So maybe you'll have the courage to approach your crush, or like ask them out on a date, or maybe they will ask you out because they will feel more assertive and confident around this time. So I do enjoy it. And then after that, on April 8th, we have a new moon solar eclipse in Aries on the 19th degree of Aries. And so, dear Geminis, again, this is your 11th house. So again, new friendships, new networking opportunities, internet related stuff. If you have a business, then like business profits, like something, yeah, like maybe major changes in your business profits and stuff, like hopes and wishes. Maybe you get a new dream now, like now maybe the changes brought by this eclipse will make you be like, oh, okay, maybe now I can dream about that, maybe I can afford this and that. And so this is the energy of this eclipse. And dear Geminis, eclipses repeat every 18 years. So last time we had this eclipse would be in 2005 and 2006. And so back then, again, we had the same exact eclipses. So the sun, I mean, the North Node was in Aries and the eclipses were happening on the North Node. And so again, this year. So try to remember back in 2005 or 2006, if you were old enough to remember, like what happened to in your friendship area. Did you make a friend back then, and are you guys still friends? So like, so this means around this time again you'll make a friend who will stay in your life for a long time, maybe some major like person you know, who shares same goals and ideas with you. And so I'm going to make a separate video for this solar eclipse. I'm trying to keep this video short, so please do check out that video. I will post it in a couple of days. And but generally, like I should also say, like new moon solar eclipses bring new possibilities, and in this case, it's happening on the North Node again. So here we accept energy. We don't have to sacrifice. We're accepting opportunities and accepting new things in our life. It's the South Node where we have to release, give up something. But here we're accepting. It's all like new energy. And also the fact that it's happening in Aries, the first sign, again, this is like double or triple emphasis on something new happening. Okay? And this eclipse doesn't really have any bad aspects. It barely makes any aspects actually, so that is good. And the only major aspect it makes is conjunction to Chiron. It will be exactly conjunct Chiron, so there will be some sort of like healing, and it would be like a wound if there was a bad aspect, but in this case there is no bad aspect. So I would say it will be more like the healing side of Chiron being activated. So maybe some healing regarding your friendships. I don't know, maybe you'll make up with some friend with whom you haven't talked in a long time. I don't know. And so, after this, on April 11th, The Sun is going to be conjunct Mercury retrograde in Aries on the 22nd degree of Aries. So this marks a major point in the Mercury retrograde period because, as you know, Mercury starts retrograde when it gets too far away from the Sun. So Mercury retrograde is the period when it starts going back towards the Sun. And so on April 11th, this is when they will meet. And then Mercury will be behind the Sun. And so again, another thing is, so this time Mercury will be between the Sun and the Earth. When Mercury is direct and conjunct Sun, Mercury is like on the other side of the Sun. It's the Sun that is between Mercury and Earth, but this time Mercury is between the Sun and Earth, and so clarity, but like internally, because Mercury is between the Sun. We're not out there like shining all of our understanding, but like here, it's like coming to an understanding like from within, big ideas, passionate speeches around this time, and remember to compromise, okay? And so this is it about the Sun-Mercury conjunction. And then on April 19th, the Sun will enter Taurus until May 19th. And so, dear Geminis, and this will mark the beginning of a period where you kind of start, looking within, resting, okay? Because when the Sun enters our 12th house, we kind of feel tired. Symbolically speaking, the Sun had been traveling throughout the chart since your last birthday, and now when it's about to enter your birthday season again, it's like the Sun is symbolically like tired, and so you might lack vitality and energy starting from April 19th until May 19th. And so on the same day the Sun enters Taurus, Mercury will be conjunct Venus in Aries, so communication, compromising, reaching agreements will be smooth. Like Venus will be giving charm to the communication. So if you need to make those if you need to make someone understand you, April 19th would be the day, even though technically speaking Mercury is still retrograde, but still. Next, and finally after that, on April 20th, we have the Jupiter and Uranus conjunction on the 21st degree of Taurus, and this is super exciting because it's extremely rare. Like last time we had this exact conjunction in Taurus was like 1940s, early 1940s, so that's like 80 years ago, more than 80 years ago. And so now we are having that exact conjunction in Taurus, but like also last time we had this was 14 years ago. Like we have Jupiter Uranus conjunction in a different sign every 14 years. So last time we had this conjunction, Uranus was still in Aries and Jupiter was in Aries as well. And that can be like an exciting, it's an exciting, rare aspect because Jupiter is involved. Jupiter expands everything, like it's the greater benefic, and so Jupiter is like the Santa. It doesn't really do bad things, and Uranus is also very futuristic. It's science, technology, progress, and so those things get a boost. And because it's in Taurus, these exciting changes, expansions will be happening in Taurus areas like finances, food industry. Like you get the idea. And for you, Gemini specifically, this is happening in your 12th house. 12th house is an isolated house, so for you, this will be more like on the subconscious level. The deepest part of yourself. I would keep a journal if you suddenly get like flashes of brilliance, understanding of your subconscious, because you will be kind of like releasing old patterns. Maybe we act on a subconscious level, like on an autopilot, and we don't know we're not completely aware of what we're doing. But this conjunction might make you come to an understanding, and without you even realizing, you get rid of the old pattern of behavior. And so, generally though, this aspect is considered like a burst of excitement, adventure, and bold changes. And another thing I need to mention, dear Geminis, is that a lot of Geminis have placements in Taurus. Like maybe you have your Mercury in Taurus, maybe your Venus is in Taurus. So if you have those two planets around the 21st degree of Taurus, you are going to feel this a lot, and that can be exciting. Maybe your rising sign is in Taurus, who knows? maybe your moon sign. So you will feel it. Like if it's your Venus on the 21st degree of Taurus, maybe something super exciting around romance or finances. Maybe a windfall, financial windfall. If it's your Mercury, maybe like brilliant ideas. Like I would keep a notebook to write down everything that comes to mind. Because thoughts are like dreams in the early morning, like when you wake up and the memory of the dream fades. Like, so it can be like that with ideas. So write it down as soon as it comes. And so this is it for Jupiter and Uranus conjunction in Taurus. And then after this, like one day after this, we have a crappy aspect. The Sun in Taurus will be making a square to Pluto in Aquarius on the 2nd degree. And this can be a bit of a power struggle aspect, but thankfully it doesn't last too long. Like I would say its effect is going to be felt for like a week maximum, like 3 or 4 days, I would say. So after that, on April 23rd, we have a full moon in Scorpio, on the 4th degree of Scorpio. And so this time, dear Gemini, so this full moon is happening in your 6th house. The sun will be shining in your 12th house, the full moon will be illuminating your 6th house. So there will be a need for balance between work and rest. And 6th house also is responsible for our health. So maybe if you were having health issues around this time, you will either fully recover, or maybe if it's something serious, maybe you'll find out what exactly that is causing problems in your health. And so, clarity and understanding means that now you can find solutions. So that's not always bad. And then also the 6th house rules pets. And so, dear Geminis, make sure your pets are healthy around this time. Like there might be a need to take them to the vet or something. And what else am I forgetting about the 6th house? Oh, 6th house is also the house of employees. So, dear Geminis, if you employ people, like someone to clean your house, or maybe your assistant, stuff like that, those are ruled by your 6th house. And so having a full moon there means that there will be some sort of culmination regarding those. Maybe you will let go of some worker you had because there is no need for them anymore, or maybe something will make you fire them. And so and another thing I need to mention about this full moon is that it's the first full moon after the Libra lunar eclipse in March. And not usually, sometimes the effects of the eclipse might play out a month later during the next full moon. So if in March nothing happened and you're like, well, eclipse happened, nothing happened, well, it might play out around this time, okay? And so remember, full moons are generally the times of moodiness. Everyone is emotional because remember, the moon controls tides and we're 60-something% of water. I don't know, some people say 80%, some people say 60, I'm not exactly sure. But it's quite a big percentage of our body is water. So we are obviously influenced by the moon cycles. And another thing is emergency workers, policemen, they know that around full moons people start acting like lunatics. And the word itself, lunatic, comes from the word luna, the moon. And so around the end of April, expect to be moody or expect others to be moody. Be patient with others, and remember, the effect of the full moon doesn't last too long. It's gonna be effect. You will feel its effect for 4 days maximum, and after that, it will slowly fade. And so, after this full moon, on April 25th, we have Mercury going direct in Aries. Yay! The period of confusion, misunderstanding, forgetting things, getting lost, it will come to an end. But I wouldn't jump to signing contract agreements right away. I would wait until May, or preferably even mid-May, to do those. Because remember, Mercury rules agreements, contracts. And even if you do have to sign it in April, be mindful that the terms of the contract or agreement might change somewhere along the way. Let's say you sign a lease for apartment in April, for a year, but then a couple of months later, you find out that you have to move to another city because of work, something like that. I'm not saying this will happen to you exactly, but I'm just giving you a general idea. And so, next, on April 29th, Venus will enter Taurus until May 23rd. And so we'll become more sensual, our five senses will be more active, I guess. Like, so spoil yourself with good food, spoil yourself with a bit of luxury, like take it, allow yourself to go to a spa salon, get a facial, because this is in your 12th house. 12th house is like rest, and also getting like beautifying yourself while resting might be a good idea. And next, and finally, on April 30th, Mars will enter Aries until June 9th. So Mars will bring this energetic energy into your friendship area. So during May and like until early June, it might be a good idea to go do something active with friends, like go hiking or some, I don't know, to a concert where you dance until you run out of energy, something like that. This is the kind of energy, because Mars in Aries is very strong. It's in its home sign, so we'll all feel a bit of a bit more energetic. And so this is it, dear Geminis, for the month of April. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys in my solar eclipse video and in my May video. Bye!